Introduction to ADHD in Young Child. This article is the copyright of www.adhdchildparenting.com. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, ADHD, is also known as hyperkinetic syndrome in many areas of the world. Generally, ADHD in young children is more common than that of adults. For the ease of understanding ADHD in detail, I've subcategorized this article into following subheadings: History and Epidemiology. When did ADHD first happen? No one knows precisely. It might be present even in Stone Age, but we have no records. In 493 BC, physician-scientist Hippocrates described a condition that seems to be compatible with what we now know as ADHD. But he could not specify any points that could be made much relevant. But it was first described by Dr. Heinrich Hoffmann in 1845. He first noticed it in his own son, a child living with ADHD, who was suffering from ADHD at the age of 3. He was a renowned writer and poet as well. His creation, The Story of Fidgety Philip, was an accurate description of a little boy who had attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. In 1902, Sir George F. Still for the first time published a proper series of lectures with more detailed account, to Royal College of Physicians in England. He described that a child with ADHD has genetic dysfunction, and this causes a child to be impulsive with significant behavioral problems. All over the world, ADHD is very common. 3–5% children in preschool age suffered from ADHD. This means that only in USA approximately 2 million children are living with ADHD. According to one recent study, almost 14% of all the children suffering from different psychological disorders are diagnosed with ADHD. 10% out of them are boys while 4% are girls, showing male predisposition for ADHD. Etiology of ADHD. ADHD is developmental neurological disorder. Generally, it is observed that ADHD is genetically predisposed. Twin studies have confirmed the genetic and heritage factor. 1/5 of all ADHD children are not genetically predisposed, they either have history of trauma or brain injury by physical toxins. But postnatal, any complications during pregnancy or birth also play a major role in advancement of ADHD in young child. Premature births also predispose a child with ADD or ADHD. Similarly, women who smoke or use alcohol during pregnancy have more risk to have a child with ADHD. Disorders frequently associated with ADHD. ADHD is more like a syndrome rather than a disorder. Usually a child living with ADHD is not only suffering from ADHD. There can be several other disorders or conditions that can accompany ADHD. Few of them are listed here for general overview. 1. Learning disabilities. 20–30% of ADHD are reported to have learning disabilities. Almost all children reported with ADHD at some point face difficulty in learning and writing. They have difficulty in understanding certain sounds or words and/or difficulty in expressing oneself in words. They may have reading and spelling disabilities. 2. Tourette Syndrome. A small portion of ADHD children have Tourette Syndrome as well. They have nervous tics and can even have repetitive problems. Grimacing, eye blinks, facial twitches, sniffing, snoring, frequent clearing of throats, etc. are mostly observed. 3. Oppositional Defiant disorder. As many as 1/3 to 1/2 of all children with ADHD, mostly boys, have another condition, known as Oppositional Defiant disorder. Odd. These children are frequently rebellious, stubborn, recalcitrant, have outbursts of temper, or become quarrelsome. They dispute with adults and rebuff to follow. For more information on ADHD,